This video has been provided by the Portland Public Schools Testing Help team. This is part 2 of a 3-video series. In these videos, we are demonstrating how to start a test session for students to join. To finish demonstrating the steps on how to start a test session, we will use a practice test session. To launch a practice test, we will go to oaksportal.org. Once on the home page, we will choose Test Administrator tile. Within the TA interface, we will then choose the training site. Then TA Interface Training Site. Go ahead and log in. And as before, we will be asked to disable the pop-up blocker. In the right-hand corner, choose Always Allow, and refresh our page. Just as before with the operational test, we are now presented with all the practice test options. Again, we will use the plus buttons to populate our test options. When you have all the test options you would like, you will go ahead and start a practice session. For today, I will choose Smarter Balance, English Language Arts, the Computer Adaptive Test for Grade 3. Smarter Balanced, ELA, the Computer Adaptive Test, Grade 3. It is important to remember to not simply choose the assessment, but again, use the plus buttons to populate your options. Let's start the practice session. Once you begin the practice session, here's what it will look like. In the upper right-hand corner, there will be a session ID. This is the session ID number students will need to log in. Write this on the board or somewhere for all students to see to use for logging in. As students log in to the test session, it will appear here in the approvals. It will stay grayed out until students join. When you are ready to approve students, you will click on that approvals box. We see now a student has joined, and we will go ahead and click on it. And for each student, you will click the I. This is where you will approve all test settings. If the test settings are incorrect, please do not have the student proceed. Work with your STC to update any test settings. If the test settings are correct, you can set and approve, allowing each student at a time to enter the test session, or you can choose Set for now, and when ready, approve all your students at once. And then up here, approve all students. Listed here are all the students who have entered your test session. To pause a test, you will choose the pause icon. If you pause a student's test, they will need to go through the login process again, including the sound checks. To stop a test session, you will click on the stop sign next to the session ID. Remember, when you stop the test session, students will automatically be logged out. And to resume testing, a new test session will need to be created. When a TA or a student pauses a test, the student may log in to the same test session with the same session ID as long as the TA still has that test session open. Thank you for joining us as we demonstrated how to start a practice test session and an operational test session for students. This concludes video 2 of the 3-video series. In the next video, we will demonstrate logging into a test session from a student's perspective. Thank you for joining.